Hey everybody, thank you all for tuning in. I want to start off by sincerely and truly apologizing for not being able to be with you all in person, just due to life's challenges, megabus issues. I was unable to make it to Baltimore on time to be with you guys in person, and I really apologize for that. I want to thank Tasha of Four Seasons of Life for helping me and working with me and allowing me to partner with her on such a phenomenal event. The last event that I had the opportunity to speak at was absolutely phenomenal. And, the request was there for us to come back and do it again. So I apologize for not being able to meet those requests on last Friday, but I really just wanted to send you guys some love and say thank you and to show once again just my heartfelt appreciation and to give you my genuine apologies. It was truly out of my hands. I knew that it would be a challenge for me to get there. And I had been working for days to kind of correct some things, move some things around. I caught a bus or purchased a ticket for a bus that left early enough to get me to Baltimore on time. But with the 2 hour delay before we even left, and then also with delays as far as traffic and accidents once we got onto the highway, the bus was just not able to make it into Baltimore in time. I was in the process of getting dressed when Tasha informed me, that you guys were wrapping up the event for the evening. So I was on my way. I was really pressing. I was trying. I knew that it was a long shot for me to make it in the first place, but I really did want to try my very hardest. I never want to be one of those people whose name is on a flyer, but they don't show up to do what it is that they promised to do. So since I am a woman of my word, what I told Tasha that I would do, and for those who attended the Shining Season event on last Friday, you already know this, but what I told Tasha that I would do is to record a free webinar. So essentially to just record what it is that I was going to share with you guys on that day, and to just move from there. So to record it, and then she could send it out to her mailing list. I'll send it out to my mailing list, and we would just keep it moving from there. I think it's most important that, we as people just keep our word, and that we do what we say we're going to do. I had no idea how to correct it, how to make it better. And then the thought just popped in my head. Why don't you do a webinar, and you guys can send it to everyone? So we thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your patience and your understanding. The other part that you guys must know is that literally every time, this is the second time, but the first time that I came to Baltimore, I faced challenges in getting there to speak for the Wonder Season event. So I faced challenges in getting there, and then about 2 or 3 weeks before the event, I had a near deadly allergic reaction that pretty much left me unable to speak. So if you guys attended Wonder Season, the last time that you heard my voice, I probably sounded nothing like I do now. I still deal with the effects of that, so I'm not able to speak for extended periods of time and all of that without it straining my voice. But there is always some sort of opposition, which just tells me that it's meant for me to be there, and that there is always someone who needs to be touched by the message that I'm putting out and the message that Tasha is putting out. So I share that little part to encourage anyone who's watching this and you feel like you may be coming up against a lot of opposition, that you may have a lot of things that are not working in your favor, things that are not going well, things that are not going as you have planned them. You really have to trust God's plan and believe that everything happens for a reason, and that it's all being laid out for a reason. And do not give up when you face opposition. Do not stop pressing. Like I said, I knew that I was going to be late. I knew I was going to be super late to the event, but I did not care. I just kept moving. When I got off that bus, my family drove me home. I hopped in the shower. I texted, like I was moving the entire time, and just was not able to make it. But that did not mean that I stopped pressing. So I want you guys to use that story as encouragement, no matter what, to never stop pressing, never stop moving forward. Okay. So we're just going to jump into this. When I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about and thinking about your season to shine, and what it really means, what I did was I looked up the word shining. And this is something that for some reason it happens, when I'm praying, when I'm doing like a Bible study, when I'm doing my private time of study, when I'm preparing to teach somebody. It's something about me reading a definition and really breaking it down and making it real for people that always just hits home. So when I was was looking up the definition of shining, there were multiple definitions, right? There were like more that I could really read through, but there were three that really stuck out to me. And I was like, you know what? This is exactly what I want to say to them. So the first thing, and this kind of just goes off of what I was just saying about no matter what, you have to continue to press, you have to continue to move forward, just don't stop moving, is that shining, one of the definitions of it is making something bright by rubbing it. And what I thought about when I heard that is how, coals and rocks are crushed in order to get the diamond out of them. That there is a scripture in the Bible that says that, you may be tested and you're going to go through the fire, but you're going to come out as pure gold. So when I saw this definition, I was like, yo, like this is hot, right? And I want to make it make sense for the people. To make something bright by rubbing it, the only way that you are going to become bright and really allow your light to shine is by going through some friction. All rubbing is friction. That means you're going to go through some challenges. You're going to go through some trials. You're going to have some opposition. You're going to have 50 million things not work out just for one thing to finally go right, and it be the one thing that you needed to have go right. So when you're thinking about, shining and just kind of, if you're feeling like rather you are not shining, that you're not, illuminating, that you're not being bright, that you're not really producing anything, when you feel like you're not really giving out anything that is worth producing. And if we can be honest, I know I've definitely been there. I literally just came out of a period of months where that was the case for me, where I just felt like worthless, where I felt like I wasn't producing anything, nothing was getting done, nothing good was happening, and it was that friction. Like now I can see, like, baby, I'm glowing, like I'm feeling good, I'm productive, doors are opening. But it was a span of months, like 2 or 3 months, where I was just down and beaten down, and I was like, yo, like this mess is never gonna get better. Like it's never gonna get better. It's never gonna get better. And that was a really hard time for me. It was a really challenging time for me. But when I saw this definition and then I just thought about it from a spiritual perspective, it really, really encouraged me to know that the only way that you get a diamond is by crushing the rock. So if you feel like you're being crushed, know that you're about to come out as a diamond. The only way that gold comes out shiny and refined and pure is that it has to be put into the fire, taken out, rubbed, put back into the fire, taken out, polished, put back into the fire until it's finally shaped and molded and it looks the way that the craftsman wants it to look. So if you are struggling with looking the way that God said that you're supposed to look, that your creator said that you're supposed to look, if you are struggling with really operating and moving in your purpose and walking out and following your dreams and your goals, know that every time you're getting stuck into the fire and you're getting polished and rubbed down, that it's just making you better. And when you finally come out, you are going to come out as pure gold. The only way to shine, and it's right here, even the dictionary knows, the only way to shine is that you have to be rubbed. You have to go through some friction in order to shine. That's how you become bright. The next part of that is another version of the definition, rather, is giving out or a reflecting bright light. So I really, really love this one too. Like I said, there were a lot of different definitions for shining, but I really picked the ones that hit home with me. And I know if they hit home with me, then they definitely hit home with you. So when I read this particular definition, that it is giving out or reflecting bright light, I kind of already knew that I wanted to talk about that, right? That you should be the light in a world full of darkness. There should be something different about you. So when I saw this definition in the dictionary, I was like, yep, I knew that's what I wanted to talk about. But I want you to really stop for a second and to think about, is the work that I'm doing, the energy and the effort that I'm putting out, is it bringing light to a dark world? We know that we live in a world right now that is crazy. Our country, like the United States of America, is like in a freaking free fall. It's absolutely crazy. The world is experiencing so much turmoil. So are you a bright light in the midst of all of this darkness? When you show up places, does it change? Does anything different happen? When you walk into a networking event, people should be happy to see you there because they know that you're coming with some good stuff, that you have good information, that you are there to do effective and strategic networking, that, you are there, that if somebody helps you, you're willing to help them. And that even if somebody can't help you, that you're willing to help them help themselves. And if you are not, when you show up any place, when you show up to your job, when you show up in your office, when you show up in your home and in your friendships and relationships, in front of your family, in your different worship centers, when you show up, is there something different about you? When you show up in your community, when you go to the town hall meetings, is there something different about you? Is your light shining so much that it is breaking up the darkness? If not, you have to evaluate the kind of light and energy that you are putting out. There can only be one of two things. You can't be somewhere in between. You don't want to be like dusk or dawn. You want to be light. And if you are not light, then you are dark or some watered down version of light, which is not acceptable either. So really think about and evaluate, is the work that I'm doing, is it really shining a bright light for others to see? Is the work that I'm doing, is it impactful? Is it changing lives? Is it helping people? If it's not, it's time for you to go back to the drawing board. And then the third definition of shining that I really, really love is brilliant or excellent at doing something. So, we say, a kid is really bright, or, that person is a really bright musician. They're a really bright business person. Like, they just have it. They just understand it. They just have that business sense. It just makes sense and everything clicks for them because they're really bright or really smart. That means that you are really good. You're brilliant or excellent at what it is that you do. When you are brilliant or excellent, you have to walk in that unapologetically. I told you guys that I was going to be going back to a point that I have made many, many times before about being unapologetic and walking in your purpose and walking in what God called you to do. Do not back down. Do not dumb yourself down. Do not dim your own light by trying to get down to other people's levels, by trying to make other people comfortable with your light. I did a Periscope recently, and one of the things that I talked about is that everybody can't handle your flame. But that does not mean, just because they can't handle your flame, they can't handle your fire, does not mean that you dumb yourself down. You need to step into a place where your flame and your fire is accepted, where it is allowed to grow. You know that a flame is the small version. When it is fanned by the wind, that's when it grows and becomes a fire. So you need to go to a place where people are fanning your flame, where they are feeding you and fueling you and pushing you to be more brilliant and excellent at what you do. This is not the time to be subpar. This is not the time to be frauding on social media like you're doing work and really putting something out there, but you're not. This is the season for you to shine, and do not apologize for your shine. Like I told you, I am glowing, honey. I don't know. Can y'all see my glow? Let me see. Okay, I ain't really got no makeup on. But you can see my little glow or whatever, my nose shining a little bit. You can see my glow. And I know that you can, because I looked at myself in the mirror yesterday when I was preparing to travel once again. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, dang, you glowing. And I was like, maybe that's just because my skin a little oily. Y'all know I got oily skin. And then I looked at myself later and I was like, nah, that's a glow. Like, that's what that is. You are glowing. And I know that that's what I have been called to do. I've called to be brilliant and excellent at what I do. I have been called to, bring light into a dark world, to bring light into other people's lives. You want to bring joy and happiness into the lives of the people who you touch and see every single day. And even those people that don't know you, but are just watching you, you want to bring something positive into their lives. So I want to really encourage you guys to remember that this is shining season. That's what it's all about. Now is the time for you to shine. Don't back down. Don't dumb down. Whatever ideas you have, whatever plan you have been working on forever, now is the time to reveal it. Now is the time to put it out there, and do so unapologetically. I promise that as you continue to move, the road will rise to meet you. But more importantly, the space will open for you to be accepted, and you will find your space in which to operate and shine and be bright and brilliant and grow. And do not worry about, like I said, the friction. Don't worry about the opposition, because you need to know that it is preparing you. So first you have to face some opposition. You got to go through the rubbing and the polishing and the stretching and the molding. Once that comes out, you're going to come out glowing, and you are going to be a light in a dark world. And once you become that light in a dark world, perfect what it is that you do and become so brilliant and so excellent at it that no one can deny how good you are at what it is that you do. All right. So I hope that encouraged you guys. I absolutely love you. I appreciate you. I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for accepting me and loving me for who I am. And because you do that, you allow me to walk freely in my gift. So once again, I hope that you guys were encouraged, and please enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed, okay?